Good evening, I'm Eric Nelson, thank you for joining me. Tonight on Four Corners, we explore the decriminalisation of Schedule II personal use drugs. The story follows shocking revelations over the failures of our current system in managing drug-related offences. In recent years, we have seen the government funding cuts to essential support services for addicts, which has resulted in the overrepresentation of people who have committed minor drug-related offences in our prisons. Tonight, we will hear from social workers on the front line who have witnessed the damage caused from cuts to essential rehabilitation and social support services for drug addicts. Our investigative report reveals that there is currently little to no rehabilitation services inside of our prisons, and that the prison environments are actually doing more harm than good, with recidivism rates increasing by the number of people who commit offences. You will hear from people working within corrective services who believe that these people need support and not incarceration. They are urging the government to take part in a serious discussion around this issue, because at the moment it is not serving anyone. Thanks for your time today. As you know, the Department of Corrective Services has sent me today because they're interested in having me facilitate a meeting between key stakeholders in response to the intensifying media interest and public controversy around the decriminalisation of drugs and some of the issues that are occurring in our privately run prisons. Are you aware of the media interest that I'm talking about, the Four Corners program that happened last week?
Yes, I did see it, and I'm not really a fan of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I've seen it.
The department believes that it's probably in the best interest of everyone to get all of the stakeholders together in one space so we can really get a grip on the complexity of the issue at hand. Do you see the benefit of having everyone together at the same table to discuss this?
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be good to have everybody involved. You get to listen to so many different perspectives and get to see both sides of the debate.
I could absolutely see the benefit in having all these people at the table. I think it's about time that we had the opportunity to discuss in genuine dialogue what the actual issue is here.
I can certainly see the benefits of having everyone here to have a meeting. It's getting all the ideas from different perspectives, and that's certainly a really good positive approach.
Well, I can see how we need to do something to help the media interest, but I can't see how anyone's going to change my position.
Of course, I can see the benefit. It'd be really great to have a conversation about such an important issue.
So there's been a lot of emotive responses to the media representations of the issue. How do you feel about the way that it's been represented in the media? Do you agree with the way that the story has been constructed?
I definitely think that there is some issues in the media with the way this problem is being represented. I feel it's very much one-sided.
I'm really happy with the current media representation of the issue. I think for far too long this social justice issue has been silenced, and this really vulnerable group within our society has been ignored.
Well, I think it was very one-sided, and they don't understand some of the pressures that we have to deal with.
Media is always going to portray any topic in a way that they think the community wants to hear, what's going to be a good news story.
It's really great that the media are really paying attention to this now, but it's unfortunate that we're not hearing from the side of the people that are actually inside the prison and going through this system.
So because we have a range of people attending the meeting, it's likely that there might be some opinions that are expressed in the meeting that sort of sit in opposition to yours. How do you feel like we can work together in that space to ensure our time is productive and work around those multiple, perhaps conflicting opinions?
I think it'll be important for everybody to make sure they're listening to everybody's when they're speaking. I think that for people who have perceived power, they can come across as quite full on, so I think it would be important to make sure everyone's heard.
Representing the police, I'm definitely going to have a different opinion. I'm coming from a more policy legislation base, but I also have an insight into what we're doing on the streets, and we definitely need to have people who are coming in from different areas and working towards a a purpose and a goal here.
Well, I think it's very important that people understand the perspective from the prison, and as long as they're happy to listen to my opinion, then I'm happy to listen to theirs.
So to ensure our time is spent most effectively within the group meeting, just wanted to see if you would be able to agree to some of perhaps some group rules that we can agree on now, so that when we come together we can sort of be guided by a general consensus of how we want the group to operate and certain processes and behaviours that are acceptable within the group.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah, I'm happy to agree to some rules, that's fine.
Yep, I'm happy to go by the rules.
Yes, that's fine.
But I didn't want these in particular to come from me. I really wanted it to be something that would be, a contribution from each group member themselves. So I'm just wondering what you think any of these foundations or rules for the group might be.
I think some of the main principles would be good to make sure everyone's heard, to have respect for each other, and just to make sure that we're all getting our own opinions across.
Definitely need to respect each other's opinions and talk to each other in a respectful manner.
Just hoping for a really open-minded, non-judgmental space. Coming from my background as a prisoner, people may find that uncomfortable, but hopefully they'll let me have my say as well.
Personally, I think that it's important to attack the issue and not the individual. And another one is a willingness to listen and actively engage.
Well, not everything in the media you see is always true, so I think that we should try to not prejudge each other.
Do I have your permission to share these ideas you've expressed to me today with the other group members so that we can sort of build off each other in terms of the rules we want for the group?
Yes, that's fine for me.
Yes, that's fine with me.
Okay, I just wanted to bring attention to some of the potential real or perceived power differentials between the group members that will be attending. It's really important that we have equal opportunity to express opinions within the meeting and that everyone feels comfortable to be able to speak what's on their mind. As a prison board member, you might be perceived as someone who's like a really powerful person, or perhaps like the bad guy because of the current media hype around the issue and the way that I guess that side of the story has been constructed. I just wondered if there was any way that we could preempt this and come up with some strategies together to try and, I guess, diminish any of perceived power held up in your position, so that it doesn't sort of overflow into conflict on the day. What do you think about that? How do you feel we might be able to overcome that?
Well, I can't really help what others think of me. All I can do is be myself, and I can't see what else that can be done about that.
Okay, so are you happy then for me to sort of use my role as a facilitator to try and even out some of those power imbalances on the day?
Yes, that's fine with me.
So as you know, you featured on the Four Corners report, therefore your face is going to be widely known by many people in the group, as well as your position on the subject. I just feel like this might put you in danger of being perceived as an antagonist, and that's really not going to be perhaps the best way to start a group discussion. So I just wondered if there was any way you can think of that we could try and address this now by thinking of some strategies so that you're not sort of, I guess, perceived as a provocateur of conflict on the day. How do you feel like we might be able to work around that?
So this is something that I thought about a fair bit, and to be honest, I am really passionate about this issue. However, I am also passionate about this being brought to light and being discussed, so I'm going to try my best not to be overbearing and just ensure that I really do listen and hear what other people have to say.
Because you're coming from the police department, I feel like it's possible that your presence might be felt as a little bit intimidating, especially considering, we have an ex-prisoner coming up there and different people who might construct your position as somewhat powerful. It's obviously really important that people feel comfortable on the day to express all of their genuine opinions. I just wondered if there was any way you can foresee that we might be able to diminish some of the power that's sort of held in your position as a member of the police force.
I'm hoping that the presence that I have in the room will be where I can answer particular questions and talk to people on a level playing field. So I'm hoping that power doesn't come into it. and that we can all just have our own opinions. Of course, I'm going to, as I said, come from a policy legislation base, but I still feel that this needs to be addressed and that we can make changes.
There's going to be some people that are present at the meeting who sort of fill really high positions in government departments and in corporations. I just am a little bit concerned that those people might be able to sort of be a bit overbearing with their voices within the group, and I'm really concerned about your opinions being diminished on the day because of that. I just wondered if there was any way you feel like we could work together to try and overcome that. If that should arise, how do you feel like we'd be able to get around that?
I think the meeting is, in the first place, is a really good first step. Obviously there's going to be some louder voices, but after years of being an activist, I'm not afraid to speak up for myself and the people I represent.
Okay, so are you happy then for me to sort of use my role as a facilitator to try and even out some of those power imbalances on the day?
Yes, that's fine with me.
Yes, it's important for me that the meeting goes smoothly, so I agree.
Okay, thanks for that. That's really great to hear. Do you have any questions for me, anything about the meeting or processes or any information at all you need from me?
No. No more questions.
No questions. I'm just looking forward to this meeting.
Not at the moment, but if I do have any questions, I'll get my secretary to give you a call.
No, I don't have any other questions, just hoping that we can all come in and do something about this.